Welcome back to DinoWorld, your totally non-AI run source for videos about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life. Today's video is an opinion video, so let's jump right into it. The video you are about to watch is a review of the Jurassic World film. It's not a review of the movie itself, but rather my opinion on the movie itself. I'll be going over things like the plot, characters, and other aspects of the movie. This is an opinion video, so it's not meant to be taken as fact. I'm not saying that this is how everybody should feel about Jurassic World. I'm just saying how I feel about it. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get started. Let's start with the plot. The plot was pretty basic for a Jurassic Park movie. There was no real twist or anything like that. It was pretty much what you'd expect from a JP sequel. The main problem with this is that there wasn't a lot to work with here. The first two movies were both based off books. Jurassic Park was based off Michael Crichton's novel by the same name, and The Lost World was based off Crichton's sequel novel of the same name. Jurassic Park III was based on a script written by Crichton himself before his death in 2008, which had been rejected by Universal Studios. So all three previous films had some sort of source material to work from, something that could expand upon for future films if need be. However, Jurassic World didn't have any sort of source material to work from. They were just left with an empty slate to work with, and they didn't really do much with it at all. They just kind of went through the motions and made another JP film without really adding anything new to it at all. That's why I don't really consider this a true sequel to Jurassic Park III. It doesn't add anything new or interesting to the franchise at all, aside from some minor character development. Speaking of characters, the characters in this movie were pretty bland and uninteresting for most part, with one exception. Let's start with Owen Grady, Chris Pratt, who is probably one of my least favorite characters in any film ever made ever. And yes, that includes Jar Jar Binks. He has no personality whatsoever, and he does nothing but spout cliches throughout the entire film. He also has no character development whatsoever, and he never changes as a person throughout the entire film. Not even slightly. He basically acts exactly like he did in every other scene in which he appears, which makes him seem like an extremely boring character who doesn't have any depth at all. Which is kind of ironic considering he works with dinosaurs every day, and yet he never seems to learn anything from them either. Kinda like Owen Wilson in Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. But without being funny or entertaining in any way whatsoever, like Owen Wilson usually is. Oh yeah. And did I mention that he has no personality whatsoever? Because he doesn't, at all, ever, in any way whatsoever, ever. Seriously though, Chris Pratt does a terrible job playing him, almost as if he doesn't even care about his role at all. It honestly feels like they just gave him whatever script they had lying around on their desk at random and told him, here you go. It also doesn't help that his character has no depth whatsoever either. He just comes across as being extremely boring. And speaking of boring characters, let's talk about Claire Dearing, Bryce Dallas Howard, for a second. She starts off as being kind of interesting because she wants to save her company from going bankrupt after everything went wrong during Isla Nublar incident back in 1993, when she worked there. But then she gets annoying after she decides to bring back dinosaurs into public view again, because she thinks people will love them so much more if they can see them up close instead of seeing them only on TV screens or computer monitors or whatever else people used back when dinosaurs still existed on Earth. She also becomes